Hey Taurus, happy December 2017. This is Dark Dove Tarot. I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and add a little more energy to the cards, but as you know, I always pre-shuffle before I start filming. So, getting started. As you know, this is about love, generally for singles, but I also tap into people looking to reconcile. Technically, I guess you would be considered single as well, right? Just more connected or having, you know, feelings for somebody still. So, again, my reads are based on love for singles and anybody looking to reconcile. As usual, the general read, so check your sun, moon, and rising, as some months those may resonate with you more than others. Although, hopefully, my read resonates with you. You know, I can only hope for that, right? So, again, I hope you're doing wonderful. I move pretty fast. I have a lot to say, a lot I want to get out without taking up too much of your time. If you want to comment, subscribe, like, etc., that's much appreciated. Private read information is in the description. All right, this is for Taurus, December 2017. I cannot believe we're almost to the end of the year. It's crazy. Right around the corner of 2018. So hopefully 2017 treated you well and 2018 treats you even better. All right, Taurus. Let me get your theme of the month card here and we'll get started. Everybody's had some pretty good reads this month. It's been crazy. It's like love is in the air, and for here in the US, it's probably because of the holidays, but it's really been kind of amazing as to just how crazy everybody's been getting. The star cards, sun cards, you know, positive cards. Anyways, not all of them have been major arcana or love cards, but just good vibes. So let's see if we can keep the momentum going. All right, Taurus, you have your theme of the month is the Chariot. So immediately that tells me Cancer. Maybe you're dealing with a Cancer. Maybe you've dealt with a Cancer, or maybe a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The Chariot is somebody who is, you know, figuring out their duality, so to speak, their devil and their angel side. Somebody who's compromising with their own inner truths and beliefs. This is about self-control. It's about balance. So I actually think it's a very positive card to have as your theme of the month, because that's what you're doing. You're balancing out your social life, your love life, your work, your kids, your family, your pets. It's coming to some sort of togetherness, and a lot of it is inside, which is very interesting, because a lot of signs this month have been working on their inner being, their inner selves, and the Chariot is very much that. One of the textbook definitions of the card would be ID, meaning, you know, figuring out your own identity, and that's super important. And especially now we're coming into a new year, you know, clean slate, new beginnings. All right, Taurus. So your current position coming into the month is the High Priestess. If you're single, this is somebody who is dreaming, but not dreaming in like a farce, not in a like, you know, here comes my knight in shining armor, Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair type thing. This is almost like an unconscious, like and this some of you may understand, and some of you may be like, no, Dark Dove, that doesn't pertain to me at all. But some of you have been having things happen like against your will. Like, it sounds strange. Let me think of a better way to put this. Like, have you noticed things happening that seem like they're supposed to happen? It's very strange. Anytime I pull the High Priestess, this is somebody on a higher level, on a higher spirituality. If you're single, maybe you're getting people who, like, you'll look at somebody's profile on your line and you're like, hey, that person's pretty cute, but I don't know. And then boom, they reach out to you. The High Priestess is about things happening against your will, but almost like you're willing them. Almost like you're in tune with the universe. That's the best way of putting this. If you're single, you're like in tune with the universe and in tune with your subconscious. But you're also dreaming about things, and they seem to be manifesting. So some of you may be experiencing that. Some of you may start to experience that. It's a really good place to be. In fact, sometimes I'm fascinated with it in my own life if I have those things happen. Like when something happens congruently, like at work, something happens and you knew it was going to happen and then it happens. Or something happens, you know, at home and you knew it was going to happen and then it happens. It's almost like you're manifesting things, or you're hoping for things, or you're willing things, and then all of a sudden it happens and you're like, whoa, you know, I was just thinking about it. So I guess I shouldn't say against your will. That's not really, because it's not against your will. It's going more, I guess, with your will, but like very succinct. It's hard to explain. I feel like I'm babbling. I probably am. But if you're single, you're going to start noticing things like falling into place, falling into line. If you want somebody who likes adventure, you're going to end up meeting somebody who likes adventure. But if you're like pushing against it, like let's say you've been hoping for somebody who is down to earth, super romantic or whatever, and then it happens, you're almost going to feel like, I'm not sure what to do with this. It's very interesting. It's like what you're dreaming is almost going to be coming into play, and not lavishly, not anything out of the ordinary, not anything too crazy, but just unexpected. And you're going to be like, whoa, you know, I thought about this, I wanted this, and now that it's here, it's kind of like been forced upon you by the universe, because the universe is saying like, here, like, this is what's good for you. This is what you said you wanted. Here you go. So in the dating world, that means either people are contacting you that you wouldn't expect, or, you know, maybe you have always been somebody who likes gaming, and all of a sudden you're going to meet somebody who takes you out of your comfort zone, who's like, oh, I don't game at all. But it's not, none of it's negative. The High Priestess is a very positive card. This is something on a level that you cannot control. This is somebody maneuvering your dating life and saying, let me take the wheel. I'm going to introduce you to really cool people. You're going to meet some amazing, and almost like intuitive people. People that you're going to have like an instant connection. You know, when you're around somebody and you know you're supposed to be around them, or you're around them and you can almost feel like the energy, that's how you're going to feel, Taurus. Very interesting. Very exciting here too for you, because you're an earth sign and you don't, not that you can't, and I'm sure people are going to be like, dark dove, I have this all the time. But the earth signs are the ones who are not as tuned into that. As, like, people could be giving you the vibe of, I think you're cute, I think you're sexy, and you're like, what? They weren't giving me that vibe, and everybody else around can see it, but you don't see it because you're like being very, very logical. Like, if they were attracted to me, they'd come right up and say, hey, I'm attracted to you, because that's how you are, right? You're frank and you're upfront. But not everybody works that way. Some people are coy or shy or kind of put on a flirtatious. So if you're single, like, good things are happening around you, and you may not have noticed unless you start tuning into it. If you're looking to reconcile, this says that there's some sort of, like, you are picturing yourself getting back together with this person. You're trying to manifest it. And there is something attached here. There is something, a connection that's really strong. For a lot of you who are looking to reconcile, that connection is still there, and you're almost seeing this type of situation happen. Like, if you've been thinking about them a lot. So I've learned that if you think about somebody steadily for a little bit during the day or something, and they're just popping into your mind, right? Like an unconscious type, I don't know if you should say unconscious or subconscious. I guess subconscious, because unconscious always reminds me of like somebody laying there. But like, if all of a sudden they're popping into your head, let's say you're driving down the car and they pop in your head, there's a really good possibility that you've popped into their head. That's what some of these connections are about. So if you're looking to reconcile, I feel like, Taurus, there is a very strong current here still, and you may start noticing that if you're thinking about this person, they may contact you. If there's been no contact, they'll contact you, or you may be thinking about them so much that you want to contact them. But again, somebody else is driving here. It's not you coming into the month. It's a lot of spirituality around you, like a higher being. Whether you believe in God, whether you're atheist, whatever your beliefs are, there's something else at work here, at play here for you, Taurus. All right. The next card you have is any thoughts or feelings coming into the month of December. And it's very, very interesting that you got the Magician, because that's exactly what I'm talking about. The Magician. See, he's turning water into wine or whatever, grape juice. And the Magician is somebody who can will and manifest things that come to fruition. That's crazy. That just gave me chills that popped out here, because this is somebody controlling it. And it's almost like, Taurus, you're controlling it. You just don't even know it. You're willing it and manifesting it. If you're dating, or if you're starting to date, I feel like some of you have been just kind of ho-hum. Like, you've been dating, but you haven't been out there really like, you know, making waves, and nobody's really made waves towards you. But this is like, all of a sudden you have this ability to be very versatile. Again, like I said here, somebody getting you out of your comfort zone. All of a sudden you're going to be dating people you've never dated before. You'll be interested in somebody you're not interested in. Maybe somebody looks-wise that you're normally not attracted to is going to contact you, and you're going to be like, huh, maybe you're thinking, I wonder what it would be like to date him or her. And then all of a sudden they contact you. And this is, the Magician is all about connection. So Taurus, you have the ability this month to make some very strong connections and meet some very amazing people. I think it's just going to be, I think this month is just going to be filled with experiences that you're not used to. It reminds me, I told one other sign this. I recently had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he said to me, you know what 2018 is going to be about to me? And I was like, what? And he said, doing everything that I normally wouldn't do because it makes me uncomfortable. So he was like, you know, I can't hike very far. He's been in the process of losing weight, etc. And he's like, I'm just going to do it. And it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me insecure, whatever, but I'm just going to do it. He's like, I'm going to start dating women that I normally wouldn't date. And I think that's kind of what's happening here for you, Taurus. But you're also like making connections in areas you normally wouldn't. And in dating, like people are all of a sudden drawn to you. Not that they're not normally drawn to you, because Taurus are very attractive people, and people can be very magnetized by them. But the Magician's saying, look, like, if you want it, you can have it, because you've just got this energy about you. I mean, and it's like, almost like I can feel the energy just like bubbling over. You can probably hear it in my voice. I may sound a little ridiculous, but it's true. If you're looking to reconcile, there is this connection. The Magician literally says there's some sort of connection here that is above your control. Now, the one thing you can control is whether you're going to initiate it, pursue it, or whether you're not going to initiate it or pursue it. So if you want this connection to be strong and continue, you will need to do something. Eventually, these things do tend to fade. It's very interesting too, because you have the Chariot here. And in order to move the Chariot forward, you have to be going in the same direction. And I feel like for some of you, with the person you're looking to reconcile, you haven't been going in the same direction in a while. And now with the Chariot, there's an opportunity here to start getting that momentum back and moving forward. It's just whether you guys can decide if you want to communicate with them or they want to communicate with you, because I feel like some major stubbornness here. I apologize too, I may sound stuffed up. It keeps coming and going. All right, the next card you have is your distant past. So over the past few weeks, correct that. This is your distant past. So over the past like 5-10 years, I always read this together with singles and anybody looking to reconcile, because this is generally not the person you're interested in reconciling. Yes, it does happen, but this is years ago. This could even be your childhood. So the 10 of Coins or Pentacles is about some sort of legacy. So some of you came from money, or you came from no money. But some of you had relationships based on these status quos, and you've just decided, Taurus, that you don't want to be a part of that. So some of you have dated because he or she had money, and not because they had money and you needed money. Look, Taurus is an earth sign, and this is an earth sign card. So Taurus is like Capricorn and Virgo, right? They take care of their business. They've got the job, they're dutiful, they're methodical, they're hardworking. So Taurus doesn't need anybody else's money necessarily. I mean, look, we've all been through our ups and downs, right? But Taurus, this is saying that maybe somebody you met, in the past, it was almost like keeping up with the Joneses. Like you only dated people who had a certain stature of life, or they had to have a job that kind of compared to yours or whatnot. You wanted somebody of equal value or even higher as far as like work or career, finances and whatnot. And you realize now that that's kind of how you were brought up. Either you came from money and it was made to be such an important part of your life, or you didn't come from money and therefore it was something that you've been striving for a long time. Again, this goes to like excess. So maybe there was, you always had an excess of suitors that, were like wealthy, or, I don't know, for some reason it's coming in like, you dated people who were a certain caliber and you never really focused on the love or romance part of it. Or you watched your parents do this. Like maybe you had a mom or a dad who only focused on the money aspect. You never saw them nourishing their relationship or having that romantic feeling. You know, maybe you came from a type of family that had some sort of surname that was a stature that you needed to complete. Or again, it could be that you came from parents who had no money. Maybe you were living in the back of a car. There's some other type of situations here that have failed your relationships past because that there was this like like something set in stone. Like, I will only date people who have this. I will only date people who have this. It's so important that, you know, they have a good job, and it's so important that together our finances work together, and whatever, that you were missing like the mushy gushy innards of it. Now, not everybody had these experiences. Again, this is general, but for a lot of you, work has been a main focus, and that has ruined relationships. Or, you know, other things have been a main focus, but not necessarily love and, you know, relationships. It's almost like you've kept yourself so busy, kind of like Virgos. You've kept yourself so busy in work and in other spaces that it's been like a safety net rather than enveloping yourself in love, which is actually hard to do because people get hurt in love and then it's hard to want to fall back in love, right? The next card you have is your immediate past. So the past few weeks, past month or so. And I stuttered for a second because you have the Lovers card. All right, so if you're single, this tells me that you've met somebody, you're going to meet somebody, you've been meeting a lot of people. So here comes this Magician and High Priestess coming in. Somewhere along the line, if you haven't yet, you know, this is saying that the past few weeks, you've maybe met somebody, you've been introduced to somebody that you're all of a sudden like, hey, I mean, I think we could have something pretty special here. I think we could have something amazing. And you guys have the same values, duality. It almost feels like you're a perfect pair. And something has like shoved that into your face. Again, something bigger than you. Somehow this person came to the forefront and you're like, whoa, where did you come from? Or maybe you haven't checked the dating sites, or you haven't been doing any of that for a while. And then all of a sudden you go to a party or something and you get introduced. Or you go back on a dating site you haven't been on in a while and somebody happens to contact you while you're on it. There's some sort of love in motion here. Although I don't think you've hit that love yet. It's more of just like a pairing and you're going, this person could be amazingly good for me. And it's almost uncomfortable because you're not quite sure what to think. And then you're trying to input like, oh, well, maybe it's too fast, or maybe it's too good to be true. Or so I think you just have to be careful not to overthink it because, I mean, this says like, look, love is here for your taking. What are you going to do with it? And you just have to be careful too because you don't want to overthink it. But this person is going to come in and maybe be your duality. Maybe be, you know, your kind of puzzle piece, your second half, your twin flame. I don't know that I'd go as far as to call it a twin flame, but what better card to get in your read than the Lovers? Now this could also be Gemini because the Lovers represents Gemini. So that's always possible as well. Maybe you've met a Gemini. If you're looking for reconciliation, this is very positive. This says that you guys still share the same values. You're still connected. There's still love there. I mean, that's literally all I have to say about this. And in the past few weeks, you may have recognized that, or they may have gotten in contact with you or you them. And for some of you, you're still not in contact, but like you got wind through a family member, a friend, or maybe they posted something on Facebook like, I still miss my one, or something like that. And you're going, oh my gosh, okay, so they're not over me yet either. Somewhere here, something has like sparked again, and there's just this potential for being in love again. The next card you have is your distant future. So in the next few months, generally, you know, the next 2 to 3 months, and you have Temperance, which is patience. So if you're single, this is saying, look, you may meet this person. There may be lover energy here, but you don't want to rush into anything. And some of you kind of have your back against the wall because you're going, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, I want somebody and I want to meet somebody, but it's like it appeared or it's going to appear. And you're going to be like, wait. I thought I was ready for it and I am ready, but like everything in moderation. Like, okay, universe, I get it. And there's a balance too. And because you are an earth sign, you know, you always want to keep everything in balance. Your earth signs are very diligent about, you know, those types of things. So Temperance is saying you're still going to have that diligent attitude. You're still going to have that hardworking, like, I have to keep everything in balance. I have to make sure that there's compromise here. Like, yes, I'm going to spend a lot of time with this person, but it's almost like you're not ready to delve right in. And you will be, but this is saying there's nothing wrong with taking it slow and compromising on, I still have a job to do. I still have kids to take care of. I still have pets to take care of. I still have things that are important to me. So it's interesting. It's almost like you want to jump right in and like connect and just move. And same with the Chariot. It's like, okay, you're flowing and you guys have this balance. It's very interesting because both of these mean balance and control. And because you're Taurus, you want to keep that control and sit steady. And Temperance is saying, yes, Taurus, you can still have that. Yes, you can still be in control. You can still balance your life. But you've got love to think about now too. So if you're looking to reconcile, it's very similar in the aspect of being patient. You are going to have to make some compromises if you guys get back together. Yes, you may be feeling like love. Yes, you may be like, holy crap, this is actually coming back into my life. I never thought we could do this. I never thought we could make this work. But it's got to be about compromise, or else you're going to end up in the same situation you were before. Whatever tore you guys apart, which I think for a lot of you, it was not going in the same direction. One of you wanted to move in together. The other person didn't. One of you guys wanted to commit fully. One of you didn't. One of you wanted marriage, kids. The other one didn't. There's a lot of different, factors here. It could even be somebody had to go off for a job and you guys, or college or whatever, and you guys decided to separate during that time. And now it's like back in your face, and it's almost like, almost a smack in the face, because it's coming so easy and there's this potential for love again. And I think for some of you, you weren't expecting it. All right, the next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks and throughout the month of December, you have the Six of Wands, which is about a victory, overcoming something, achieving something. But this is big achievement. If you're single, this is like you're achieving some sort of, like, this is, you have been waiting for this person to come into your life. You have been waiting to get out of the single pool. And guess what? You are going to be out of it. At some point in the next, 2 to 3 months, you're going to be moving on and you're just going to be vibing really well. And it's like completing a cycle. The Six of Wands is saying, look, you're going to be feeling victorious. Like, I got out of this single dating pool I never thought I'd get out of. The Six of Wands is saying, look, be proud of this. Be proud of all you've achieved. But this is somebody, like, you can take home to mom and dad. This is somebody that you're going to want to flaunt. This is love. This is love that you're going to feel confident in and brave about, that you're going to want to be able to show off to the world. And this is somebody who's going to make you feel on top of the world. They're going to put you on a pedestal, but not in a bad way to where you can't live up to it. But it's something really deserving, like somebody who's going to see all the good qualities in you and just make you feel amazing. If you're looking to reconcile, this is also some sort of small victory. It's almost like you've wanted this person to contact you. You've wanted to contact them. You've wanted this for a while, but you've kind of let it go to the wayside because you were just like, hey, it's not working. And Taurus isn't generally the person to sit there and pine over somebody over and over. You're going to stick your head in other things like work, kids, taking care of other things, living your life. The one thing about earth signs is when they break up, yes, they can be hurt very badly, just like every other sign can, but they don't harbor and wallow in it as much as, like, let's say Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio would. They engulf themselves in other things. Now, it doesn't matter which way is healthier, to wallow in it or to ignore it, but that's just how it works for some signs, where it's easier for them to take their mind off of it than to sit and dwell on it. So it's very interesting. With the Six, it's almost like you've been wanting this, but you haven't paid attention to it. And now that it's kind of in your face, you're going, I've been wanting this. I just haven't been putting too much energy into it because I've been focusing on other things. The next card you have is your external. So anything that happens going on through the month of December that's external. So anything throughout the month, it could be a day, it could be 5 days, it could happen in the beginning, middle, end. Anything that's kind of tangible that's going to go on in your love life. And you have the Seven of Cups. This is about temptation. So I'm going to heed a suggestion if you're dating. If you do want the lovers and you want the lust and you want all of that included, but you want somebody going on the same path with you, you want somebody who's in balance with you, you want somebody who fits in your life amazing and is just, somebody who builds you up instead of putting you down. All of the amazing positive things about meeting somebody that could be a potential mate. You need to watch this card, because this is saying, look, there's some major temptation here. There might be people who are coming in saying, I love you, I want you, you're amazing, but be careful. I'm just heeding a warning here, because the Seven of Cups says, look, you're going to have some choices here, Taurus. You're going to meet some amazing people. You may even feel like you could love like 3 people that you've met, or that you could move on with 3 people that you've met. But some of it's wishful thinking. Some of it is going to be, you know, somebody's going to be feeding you all the story, everything you want to hear, and you've just got to watch it. It's almost like because the universe has been really making things seem very positive, or throughout the month of December, you may start noticing things happening where you're just kind of like, wait, what's going on? But they're good. It's good. This is saying make sure that you listen to your instinct too, because you're going to be open to a lot of different choices. And if you put out lust is what you're going to get back. If you put out a friends with benefits vibe, that's what you're going to get back. Now, if you want that, great. Then that's what you need to put out there. But for a lot of you, you don't. And this is saying, look, if you say, you know, if you start a physical relationship on the first date and then wonder why a week later they don't take you seriously in like a boyfriend-girlfriend aspect, I know it can happen. Trust me, I know plenty of people. But there's certain relationships you haven't been satisfied in, and so you've just got to be careful that you're not moving back into those relationships, because there is some sort of temptation, and I don't know why I'm being told to tell you this, but just be careful too on like there are some people out there who are willing to use and abuse you if you're willing to, like money wise, so just be careful, because there may be somebody out there who is trying to take advantage of you because you seem to be in this like more accepting, more open to love state. So just be careful. Nothing negative. It just means, you know, watch the temptation a little bit. All right. If you're looking to reconcile, there's like major choices here too, because there is some sort of temptation for you. Like, make sure if you guys start getting back together, or, okay, let me preface it this way. If you're interested in getting back to your ex and getting back with your ex and having a physical relationship, then go for it. But if that's all you guys can muster and there's nothing else to build on, understand that that's where it will stop. You will have the physical, you will have the amazing, you know, kind of like, you know, when people fight and then they make up and they have the great makeup, you know, whoopee or whatever. Like, and I called it whoopee because I got flagged for saying sex so I feel like I'm in, you know, 4th grade because I just spelled it out. But I prefer not to get flagged over using that word. I hear people drop F-bombs. I've done it and not get flagged. And then you say, you know, that and whatever. So we'll keep it as whoopee. But if you guys get back together and there's a lot of lust and there's this, you know, temptation and this desire, just make sure that you're ready for, if that's all it's going to be, that's all it's going to be. If you guys don't sit down and have a conversation about what you both want, you may end up in just a lustful fling for the next couple of weeks, but no problems were worked out. Therefore, the relationship doesn't grow. The next card you have is anything internal. This is external. This is internal that you'll be feeling throughout the month of December. It could be, again, the middle, the beginning, the end, 1 day, 10 days, etc. And you have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is somebody who's doing things innocently, and so that ties into this very well, because if you're dating, may have been a while since you're dating, you may not know how to read the bullshit flags, you may not know how to read the red flags anymore, so you're kind of believing and trusting in what people are telling you instead of being more cautious like Taurus normally is. And so this may come into play where you're like, oh, he or she likes me so much and they would never hurt me. Just watch that, because you don't want to be naive either. Taurus is definitely not naive. But you're going to be playing on the edge of emotions. And it's very interesting because this is a water sign card, which is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And they generally tend to play on their emotions. So you've just got to make sure you have this balance and you have this self-control that, yes, it's okay to believe that they really do care about you, that they possibly love you or whatever. But it's also very important that you don't let your emotions run with everything, because Taurus can't tend to turn it on and off the way some signs can. you work so hard and you're so diligent that when you turn on the romance and you turn on that love button, sometimes it gets carried away, which nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't necessarily mean you'll make the right choices or you'll meet the right people. However, you're going to nip anything like that in the butt because you have this temperance and this. And it may just be that you're having fun feeling that love again. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. It just means make sure you're putting out there what you want to get back. If you start with the lust, you may end with the lust. If you're looking to reconcile the Page of Cups, somebody's pregnant. So there may be some sort of pregnancy here that maybe you guys are reconciling based on that. Maybe you're just going to wash everything out of the window because somebody's having a baby. But this for you is also, this is like wanting to just start over. This is wanting to pretend that nothing bad happened, that, you know, you guys have it all figured out, and that you can kind of, you know, wash everything. It's like water under the bridge, but that's not possible. So again, make sure that you don't let the temptation and the lust and all that get carried away unless you're willing to have a relationship based on that. Yes, you can get together and have makeup, whoopee, or whatever. But if that's all the relationship's based on the next few months, that's all you come together for, then don't be surprised if the big stuff that happened originally in the relationship end up getting thwarted and don't getting discussed and rearing its ugly head again 2 months from now. The next two cards you have are any hopes and fears. So this is towards the end of December. This is how you're feeling internally at the end of the month and your outcome. Okay. So for your hopes and fears, you have death and you have the King of Pentacles for your outcome. So death is actually an awesome card. I like death. And the reason I like it is because it's rebirth. It's a transformation. It's revelation. It's starting anew. It's an entire change in your life. So if you're dating, this definitely tells me that what you're looking for is something positive. You're looking for this balance. You're being patient about it. You want this lovers, but you want to do it right. You know what you're looking for. You want to move this chariot forward. You want to know that you guys are moving in the same direction. You want somebody who's like-minded and wants this, but you also know that in order to get it, there's certain things you have to change. There's certain things that you have to understand. And viewing the way you think about love and viewing the way that you deal with emotions is something that you want to change. You also want to change your single status. A lot of you want to be in a relationship, or at least in a committed dating relationship, you know, or move on to eventually moving in with somebody, or those things later on down the line. And so some of you are, you know, changing things about your life to make those possibilities happen. Very big here because there's a lot of big steps going on. There's a lot of things that it's like a rebirth of just Taurus in general, just your love life in general. And you can feel it. You can feel the change coming. You can feel this person coming into your life who's going to be moving in the correct direction. This lover who's going to sweep you off your feet and have this compromise and balance in your life that you normally wouldn't really try to have with anybody. But this person's going to be different. There's something here that's going on. It's going to be magical. Like, I say it like that, but it's true. Just kind of plop them right in front of you and it's going to feel almost magical to some of you. It may not happen for all of you like that, but for some of you it will feel like that. If you're looking to reconcile, again, there's something going on with child because this card has, you know, pregnant belly, but so for some of you, it may be a child coming in. It may be that you guys have a child together, and that may be what's forcing the reconciliation. And not in a bad way. I don't want to say forcing, like, because you've practically willed it and they've practically willed it. But there's definitely something, you know, bigger than yourself going on here. But this, again, like I'm saying, is some sort of change that has to happen. If you come in as the lovers only, those changes won't come about. And you're sitting here going, okay, I want to be with you, but we need a rebirth of our relationship. And gosh, I really think somebody's pregnant. Or maybe your ex got somebody else pregnant. There's somebody's having a baby. But there is this possibility of reconciliation, this transformation of your relationship. But again, if you're minding these temptations and whatnot and really thinking about what needs to come to the forefront. All right. And you end with the King of Pentacles as your outcome, which is the end of the Earth sign cycle. And you are an Earth sign. So that would make sense. Somewhere here, there's some major things coming to fruition. And I'm shuffling your clarifying cards as I talk about this last card. So the King of Pentacles is somebody who is competent and looking for stability. So if you're dating, you're going to find this stability that's moving in the same path, that's going to be about balance. The King is all about balance, but this is also somebody who's about business. This is somebody who's about confident. So somewhere in the end of December and the next, 2 months after, you're going to be finding this balance or compromise with somebody where you're willing to let them into your life. You're willing to balance work, love, kids, all of that, which Taurus doesn't generally do unless it's somebody really wanting to do that. And I feel like at the end of the month, you've kind of got your ducks in a row, because this is also about business. So this is about, making money and making things flow. And I think things are just going to balance really well in your life. Like, you don't even have to make room for this person. They all already just kind of start fitting into the flow of your life. It's like you thought you'd never have time for anybody, and all of a sudden you have an abundance of time to spend with this person because they're worth it to you. If you're looking to reconcile, there is some sort of stability coming here. There is some sort of even keel. So even if you guys just pick up the phone and start talking, even if you meet once, a week to get to know each other again, some of you, it could be somebody that you've been wanting to reconcile with for months. Some of you, it could be somebody that you haven't seen or heard from in months or a year. But there's definitely something coming to the forefront, making it feel like the relationship is, there's something to be happy about here. There's almost like a wealth of positive vibes surrounding this, if that makes sense. But you're also going to be treating it kind of like a business. Like, I won't get caught up in all the drama and the chaos that we had before. So we need to really, set some ground rules if we're going to work this out and make it happen. Okay, so the 2 cards you have for your clarifying, you have the Queen of Cups over the King of Pentacles. So the Queen of Cups clarifying your outcome for the month is very interesting because she fits perfectly for the beginning of your month, coming into the month. The Queen of Cups is somebody of mystery. This is of otherness, spirituality. This is something bigger than you. And Taurus, for whatever reason, your spirit guides are around more. You're like, the universe is listening because the Queen is saying, look, things are going to happen that are out of your control. Again, like I said, against your will. Maybe not the best way to put it, saying against your will, but definitely something is going to be coming to fruition where you're going to realize, like, where did all this come from? I mean, this just kind of fits in my life. Like, it's been a puzzle. Like, it's a piece of my puzzle that I've been waiting for a long time. And you're not even going to ask questions. You're just going to kind of let it go as a mystery and assume that God or whoever you believe in, or the universe or spirits, that they just have your back and it's your turn. If you're looking to reconcile, there's going to be some sort of otherness to this as well, which again, I know I've said pregnancy, but that may have something big time to do with it. Or your ex comes and says, look, we talked about having kids and getting married and I didn't want that, and now I can't picture doing it with anybody else, so I want you back. There's going to be some sort of mystery surrounding why you guys connect too. Maybe, you hadn't thought about contacting them, or you were like, I'm not going to, and then you hear, oh, they had a car accident, and you're like, I have to contact them. Or there's something else going on at play here for you as well if you're looking to reconcile. Something bigger than yourself that you're gonna, if you're meant to reconcile, or if you're at least meant to talk again, it's gonna happen. Whether you pick up the phone or whether they do, I feel like there's gonna be something else at play here that's gonna make it happen. The card you have for clarifying your outcome, or your distant future, is actually one I really like a lot. So the Page of Swords is clarifying your temperance, which the Page of Swords is about figuring out what you want in life and learning what makes you happy and then seeking it out. So this is you saying, okay, this person makes me happy, but what do we have in common in life? Where are we going together? It's like writing your own book together. So you, like, okay, because how I was talking about here, where maybe you dated people of a certain stature, or you had certain expectations because that's just how you've always wanted things. You came from no money, or you came from a lot of money, or whatever it was, or you came from parents who didn't love each other. Whatever it was that you wanted to be completely opposite of, this Page of Swords is saying, look, you're just opening the book with somebody and saying, let's write our own future. I have no expectations from you other that you're genuine with me, you're upfront and honest with me, but let's write our own story and not force it, not make things happen, or push things in a direction. Like, let's let the universe play out what they have in store for us and let us write, our book going along with that. If you're looking to reconcile, this is clarity. This is you getting some sort of clarity, either knowing why you guys broke up, and like it's almost like you knew why you guys broke up, but you didn't understand why it lasted so long, or you didn't understand why maybe they changed their mind in the direction they were going. There's just going to be some sort of truths that come out, and they're not negative. They're just not. It's just going to be, maybe somebody says, look, I'm really angry in the fact that you weren't romantic with me, or I'm really angry in the fact that you seem to spend all your time at work, or vice versa. Whatever it is, this is you also rewriting your story. So you learning more about what they need. They'll learn more about what you need. And together you guys can also write, you know, pages in your history book. I think reconciliation is actually very positive for you here, Taurus. But, you know, you are going to have to figure some things out. And again, if you get back together just to whoopee, then, you know, if that's what you put into it, that's what you're going to get out. But you guys can do that and still have, you know, logical conversations about what you both want and where you're going. So, all right, Taurus, have a great December. I'll see you guys before the new year. Bye.